dailyastrocat.com, the weekly astrology report. On this week's Daily Astrocat Weekly Report, we talk about Venus. Venus on the half shell, Venus in your shampoo, Venus in your bank account, Venus as part of the new logo for Tabitha. Yes, all things Venus. Our musical alter ego is Tabitha. You didn't know that, did you? Venus everywhere.
Venus, Venus everywhere. There's also...
I see the goddess everywhere.
There's a Venus trine Chiron event. The Sun square Uranus, and both Mars and Mercury will be trine Uranus. The moon begins the week in Cancer and ends the week in Libra.
Woo! What an exciting week, right?
Lots going on.
And now it's time for the mystical workings of my watery mind. Hello, beautiful friends, and thank you all for joining us. Welcome to the Lunar Weekly Astrocat Preview. It's time to concentrate and focus.
Intentions set, our intentions well met.
Wow, and I didn't blow that line like I did last week.
That's fine. Hey. We swapped.
I'm Shane Jensen, I guess. Anyway, hey, I'm an astrologer, and I like to interpret the daily influences of the moon on us and our environs against the backdrop of traditional Western astrology.
And I'm Carrie Cardero Jensen. I'm a kitchen witch, voice of the cast of cat characters here, songstress, and neurospicy nerd for all things New Age.
Okay, so Venus retrograde reaches her crescendo point on Sunday. It is going to be very worthwhile to cut the video in places so that we can show you graphically what this means and how cool the sacred geometry of Venus actually is.
Yeah, you gotta see a picture of this stuff because it's so nice. Now, Venus as the ruler of Taurus. Probably need to really drill down on Venus today because that's where the chart's taking you.
Good. Well, you know, it's kind of funny because I don't repeat this Taurus thing until later. But let's begin with Venus herself, okay? Because Venus is our empress of the zodiac. She's the female archetype in the tarot deck. She's confident and in charge. The tarot representation is very much the one that is accepted by the patriarchy. She's almost certainly with child, therefore fulfilling her duties.
Venus represents the pleasant things in our life. Good food, beautiful people, and objects. She represents love and things that we desire. And Venus is all about how we go about getting those things.
Ooh, give me more. All right, so Venus is more than that, though. Love and romance, relationships, yeah. Venus may appear vain and disinterested, but to believe that is all she has to offer is to do her an injustice. And Venus is patience. She's patient and persistence.
Yes.
Persistence. All right. So look, we got Venus in Libra. You know, Venus is the ruler of Libra. And the moon's in Libra this week, and it's going to allow Mercury to tap into some Gemini energy that could possibly cause it to have a late Friday night and a Saturday morning.
Ooh.
Why is that?
Well, let's start with Libra. Libra's all about pleasure, charm, and mostly balance. Libra's like the cardinal sign of the fall season. Many folks love fall, myself included, but they like it just right. Some Goldilocks going on here. Not too hot, not too cool. Kind of makes you think about the pumpkin spice argument.
Pumpkin what? I don't even think Venus in Libra has the power to settle the pumpkin spice debate, okay? For the record, I hate it. I like pumpkin cookies and pumpkin pie. Keep your nasty flavorings out of my coffee.
Well, that's settled. The show's over.
Show's over. Okay, thank y'all for joining us. Okay, we get to do this all like...
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
So anyway, hey, look. Venus promotes this whole balance thing in Libra, almost like a counterbalance to the moon in Cancer, okay? You would think that Aries would be at odds with this, but these cardinal points complement each other on the points of opposition.
You're losing me here. What does this have to do with all the Venus stuff this week?
Listen, it's all about restoration and symmetry. Let me say one thing, okay? We're at the beginning of a new cycle for Venus that begins on Sunday the 13th with that inferior conjunction in Leo. An inferior conjunction just means that it occurs between the Earth and the Sun, okay? That means it's like eclipsing Venus. Venus is doing an eclipse, but it's not as big as the moon. All right, so over the next 8 years, Venus will experience 5 of these conjunctions, and they will occur in a very distinct pattern. Okay, and what's this called? This is called a geocentric view. I wanted to start off with this whole Libra vibe because we're at the starting point of something Very cool and very unique. These are the petals of Venus, okay? Over the next 8 years, there will be 5 inferior conjunctions at these points here. The first one is this Sunday, and it's going to be at the point right here that's marked Leo. And they continue until the pattern is completed.
This is the point where Venus is reborn as the morning star. Venus is within the rays of the sun and not visible at this time. I see that there are 5 points where this will happen. What are the outer points?
The outer points, these are points of the superior conjunction. So there's an interior conjunction, there's a superior conjunction. Kind of like there's a new moon and a full moon. There's new Venus and full Venus.
Okay.
Because Venus has phases like the moon, as it's close to the sun. That's where Venus is brightest and transforms from morning star into the evening star. Venus is also the #1 object in the sky that is mistaken for UFOs.
How about that?
So let's see here. If we start with the next image. All right, so I need the image, please.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do. I do. Because this image right here, this is what we're talking about. And so you can see that this one here starts in 2023. And we have Leo right there. Then we're going to go into the 2024, which is in Gemini. That's a superior conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go back to 2025, and that's going to occur in Aries over there.
With the inferiors. Yeah.
That's another inferior conjunction. And as you can see, this traces a really cool pentagram, or if you look at the loop-de-loops on it, that's called the Petals of Venus.
Cool.
And so we go from 2025 to 2026 in Scorpio. We also have a 2026 superior in Capricorn, and so on and so forth. As you can see, this chart here goes all the way up to 2030, this diagram right here.
It's a very pretty pattern.
That is the patterns of Venus. Now, this only shifts by 2.5 degrees each cycle, okay? So this is a beautiful courtship dance that repeats every 8 years in exactly the same signs.
Exactly the same sign. So how is that possible?
5 inferior conjunctions, 8 Earth years, and 13 Venusian years.
Oh, I can't math.
The ratio between Earth's orbit and that of Venus is part of a Fibonacci sequence and is related to the golden ratio.
Okay.
You know, that thing like the Nautilus shell.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. That is the whole Nautilus shell looking thing for those of you who are not familiar with it, like I just explained to her. All right. So look, this sequence repeats and only advances by 2.5 degrees, like I said, with each repetition. The petals remain in those signs over the course of 40 years.
Ooh.
Remember that number, okay? 40. That.
Okay, so they keep repeating that pattern
Right,
for the 40 years, and then
Venus
they move into...
Venus is retrograde for 40 days and 40 nights, okay? It's all over the place.
Lots of 40s.
Oh, there's lots of 40s. There's 40s in the Bible, too. You know, 40 days and 40 nights. And I think that David and Goliath, there was 40 days of battle before, you know, or it was during a Venus retrograde when David slew Goliath, everything like that, okay?
Signs and symbols indeed.
It is this sacred geometry that leads to the balance that Venus is known for, okay? Especially in my mind, just looking at that. This emblem of cosmic harmony is going to be part of our new logo for Tabitha.
Yay!
Yeah.
Now, it's really a reminder of the complex and interwoven nature of mind, body, and spirit. Now is the time to think about how we choose to feed these areas in ways that are both desirable and pleasurable.
All right.
Venus, oh, what?
Well, no, I just like that up there. The lion, the goddess, and the pentacle.
Oh, yeah, so the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe, the
Uh-huh.
lion, the goddess, and the pentacle. Very nice. Venus also forms a pentagram within a pentagram, as you may have saw in the diagram, when these conjunctions are connected with the straight lines. I don't want to be the one who told you so, but I'm telling you that the desire for earthly possessions and delights has been at the root of greed and lust for a long, long time.
Right. So, as a symbol of the divine female, a symbol of the divine female, the pentagram, the pentacle, is corrupted by the patriarchy into a symbol of the devil. Oh, then they go after the witches after high-fiving each other, eating some sandwiches made with spoiled grain. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, not quite so literally in like one particular event, but yeah, it's kind of all over the place. All the elements are there, but yeah, screw the patriarchy at this moment. Let's instead look at the transformations that have been calling us since the first day of August.
Okay, the Lionsgate Shadow Portal is waiting for us to review all of this stuff on Wednesday.
Shadow Portal? Wait, I didn't even think you liked the Lionsgate. Now you're talking about its Shadow Portal? Did you look that up?
Nope, didn't have to. It's all right here. It's in my mind. Listen, we're going to reset the things that make us happy on a much higher level than we thought possible. Build a fire, burn up the scraps in the yard. It's time for some new magic, okay? We have a new symbol for us and a new faith in our ability to understand what it is that is being offered to all of us, okay? In turn, that also changes what we can offer to you.
Yeah, it does, but that still says nothing about the Shadow Portal.
Yeah, I'll dance around that subject probably more even. This is where we're sending that full moon in Aquarius energy, okay? It's the dark new moon in Leo. This occurs in proximity to Ceres and the dark moon Lilith.
Well, the dark moon Lilith kind of amps things up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, she's going to be part of the superstellium in Leo? This concentrates this transformative energy. You better believe it. It's a vampire's kiss. Venus will be left with a hunger for the very best things in life we know of. Lions and pentagrams, indeed. Rawr.
The new moon, this new moon in Leo affirms our acceptance of the changes we've undergone. Now we have to negotiate new terms for this contract.
Very interesting. No negotiations, though, because Mercury is about to be retrograde. Hello? You should already have an idea of what you want and need. You should have gone beyond basic requirements, all right? What in the world have you been doing since August 1st? Jupiter's already assured favorable returns on this.
Ah, good. I see my messages are finally being taken to heart. Good. We do have to be cautious, but that caution is naturally baked into this very design, okay? Every deliberate step of the way has been done with this new appreciation of Venus embedded into our subconscious, and I hope you have allowed it into your patterns as well.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, we can't get away from Venus in this instance. Both Mercury and Mars are opposing Neptune and Pisces, okay? The Sun and Moon are in a yod with Pluto and Neptune. That whole finger of God thing, okay?
I'm pointing to the problem area.
Well, it's the one that Venus was in, so it's the same repeating pattern, and that's at 28 degrees of Aquarius. 2/8 for those of you who are keeping track, okay? And that's what we were talking about before. So that yod, that destiny, that tension point between Pluto and Neptune, that's your projects, okay? This is what we're talking about. This is your creativity that can solve that problem in Leo and bring attention for you and that fame that Leo is renowned for, okay? It's time for you to follow your instinct, intuition, and your higher angels.
So you're saying to latch on to this new higher vibration?
Listen, it certainly isn't new. It's just intensified. Okay? We may have seen the energy of the full moon in Aquarius dissipate, but we haven't discussed Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. This is the way the older material patterns will be broken. So once we reset those Venus intentions and we reset everything, but it's the stuff that we're doing, it's ongoing.
Kind of like we might have to reset our computer.
Kind of, sort of.
This is losing battery.
Kind of, sort of. You never know. All right. So, listen. Yeah, the outer planets slow it down and start bringing it in, okay? That's what they do. Venus and Mercury are slowing it down. Uranus and Jupiter will be the last two planets to turn retrograde. Uranus is square with the Sun, okay? We will be much more accepting of this freedom, the freedom of Uranus square with the Sun. I could get political here, but it's never worth it, okay? We're better off looking inwardly and focusing on our personal growth. This stunted, the stunted and selfish world will still be out there, okay? We just need to hack our way into getting them to give us just a little bit of what they're hoarding. All right, so just as our understanding of Venus has deepened, so now we must come to terms with her companion, the Emperor, Mars. And why don't you take this?
Okay. Sitting and staring straight ahead, but leaning slightly forward, implies an inclination towards action. All of the nights are reflections of Mars. It's the energy behind the actions, as well as the action itself. The Uranus Mars trine is suggestive of a different kind of energy taking over the practical Earth energy. Now, changes in our material world, okay? Uranus is an agent of innovation and change. Trine Mars in Virgo is one story, yet now we have Mars in a trine with Pluto as well, and this implies an imminent grand Earth trine.
Curious, right? I'm very much in favor of the career-focused shift that is implied here. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. What exactly are we doing, and how will that facilitate the demands that Venus is making of us? Uranus in cautious Taurus has been causing fits and starts for a while now. Uranus retrograde in Taurus will turn the tide for disruptive financial instruments and cause them to find a bit more mainstream acceptance.
This is like getting too long-term and confusing. What does it mean right now?
Liz, we spoke about Mercury and Mars last week. This week they can take turns forming a trine with Uranus. Mercury and Uranus can be very disruptive, but usually in a good way, okay? The trouble with trines is they can make things seem just a little bit too easy, okay? I wouldn't worry about this one too much. Venus is charging Mars with the task of figuring out what she wants and how to get it. Mostly how to get it. Venus knows what she wants. She wants more. How do you get it, Mars? We can expect to find ways to better utilize our time to work smarter on our passion projects, okay? That's what Mars is going to do. Use that time better. We begin by reviewing how our process can be improved.
Very good. Yeah. I think the plug is back there.
What? No, I want you to just read the next line.
Okay, we'll just have nothing to read in a minute, but Jupiter's still trine with Mercury as well. With Mercury retrograde next week, this is the beginning of a once, twice, and nothing. Yeah, I kind of thought you knew earlier when we saw the battery thing. Like, I didn't want to step across you, so I kind of thought when I took over the thing that was my portion of it that you were going to plug it in.
Just kind of all, like, sums up the day perfectly.
What?
Just everything. No, I mean, it's nothing bad. It doesn't say anything about you. I'm just saying it just sums it up perfectly, because right now it's dead. Yes, the outer planets slow it down and start bringing it in, okay? Venus and Mercury are slowing down, going slower. Uranus and Jupiter will be the last two planets to turn retrograde.
The outliers.
Yeah, Uranus is square with the sun. I don't like you, son. Oh, I'm challenging you. Well, what do you think? I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be independent. Independent of what? What Venus wants? Or what Venus wants is better for me. For me? For moi? For me? You're promising me more money? Of course. Ah, that's good. We will be much more accepting of this kind of freedom. Uh-huh.
Indeed.
I could get political here, but it's never worth it, okay? We're better off looking good. No, we're better off looking inwardly and focusing on our personal growth. The stunted and selfish world, they're still going to be out there. We just need to hack our way into getting them to give us just a little bit more of what they're hoarding.
No kidding, right?
Right. Okay.
So just as our understanding of Venus is deepened, so we must come to terms with her companion, the Emperor Mars.
Sitting and staring straight ahead, but leaning slightly forward, implies an inclination towards action. Don't make me get out of this chair. All the knights in the tarot cards are reflections of Mars as well, because they're all in motion. Charging! The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, all that stuff, okay? Now, it is the energy behind these actions as well as the action itself The Uranus-Mars trine is suggestive of a different kind of energy taking over the practical Earth energy.
Interesting.
Blow stuff up! Bring in the money!
Well,
Okay?
hey, Uranus is an agent of innovation and change. Trine Mars in Virgo is one story, yet now we have Mars in a trine with Pluto as well. This implies an imminent grand Earth trine.
Whoa, the twin engines of Scorpio are coming together. Engage. Blast off! All right. Curious, right? I'm very much in favor of the career focus shift that is implied here.
Sounds good.
Oh, yes, we hooked it up. We got Virgo on one side. We're working hard. We got Capricorn on the other side. Blast off. And where are we blasting off to? Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. What exactly are we doing, and how will that facilitate the demands that Venus is making? What are we doing with our lives? What are we doing for work, okay? This makes a very pretty pickle.
Pretty pickle.
Uranus in cautious Taurus has been causing fits and starts for a while now. You know, markets are up, markets are down. This is bad, this is good. Oh no, this, COVID. What? Okay. Uranus retrograde Taurus will turn the tide for disruptive financial instruments and cause them to find a bit more mainstream acceptance. Can we say crypto here? Yes, we can. And you know why we can say it? Because that's just what I'm saying.
Dude, this is getting like way too long-term and confusing. What does this all mean right now?
Listen, we spoke about Mercury and Mars last week. This week they take turns forming trines with Uranus. One is for communication, changing up our communication. The other is about changing our actions towards bringing more of Venus's things to us, because we know that's what Mars is interested in. Mars and Uranus can be disruptive, but usually it's in a good way. Okay, we're going to shake that up, and we're going to make sure we're getting more. The trouble with trines is they can make things seem too easy. You know, you're not going to work too hard at it.
You kind of take for granted, yeah.
Exactly.
They can be easily overlooked. They're potent, but they're just like...
Yeah. But you know what? I wouldn't worry too much about this one. Venus is charging Mars with the task of figuring out what she wants. We can expect for us to find ways to better utilize our time to work smarter on our passion projects, okay? We begin by reviewing how our process can be better.
Jupiter is still trine with Mercury as well, and with Mercury retrograde next week, this is the beginning of a once, twice, thrice aspects between Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus.
Exactly. We weren't talking about Venus because it would be once, twice, three times a lady.
Oh boy. So this whole transformation of like all this Lionsgate stuff and everything, what was began on around August 1st is renewed by this Leo moon energy. The opposing sign of Leo is Aquarius, and that energy is still very present. Both Uranus and Saturn, the co-rulers of Aquarius, are still present as well, but in a very good way.
We need to free our minds enough to own our creative process. It doesn't matter how you choose to do so. I would look at where both Jupiter and Uranus are in your charts for a hint for that.
Curious exercise. What about Venus? Don't they want to check Venus too? Is that process done yet?
Revisit the feelings surrounding the portal in the previous week.
Okay.
There's a symmetry and a beauty in our chart that is going to be able to take those who are able to feel it to an entirely different level.
Nice. There is no shame in asking the universe for more. It's the way things get done, provided you are putting in the work. The challenge now is to find ways to make the effort that you're putting in do more, yield more, you see more from what you're putting in.
Mars is in Virgo. Take practical steps towards that now. All right.
There you have it.
So now, hey Carrie, it's our time for our best
Hey,
days of the
Shane.
week. Guess
Hey,
what?
Shane.
You wrote this stuff. So, Carrie,
I did.
what is the best day for love?
That will be Friday, as it was named after the Norse goddess Freya, who is associated with love, among other things. She's like a whole slew of things, but it is a great night for an unusual date. However, ending with a traditional kiss on the doorstep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, one of those nice pecks.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So speaking of
We'll
pecks.
see you next Saturday.
Okay. What's the best day for business?
That is actually going to be Friday as well, interestingly enough, because we have some very nice Earth trines to strengthen organization, help compartmentalize business, and usher us into the weekend very smoothly. Chances are we'll remember exactly where we left off after the weekend, because Mercury in Virgo generally is not going to forget.
All right. And what's the best day for health, Carrie?
Best day for health is going to be actually Monday through Wednesday. Monday for self-care, Tuesday to get out there, and Wednesday to make the plan that will stick.
Well, it rhymed in everything.
Yeah,
Wow.
imagine that.
A little bit of Marshall Mathers in everybody, I guess. Huh? Okay, so the best day for transformation, Carrie,
Making
is...
stuff rhyme that shouldn't even rhyme. So that is actually Wednesday. So we got like a little peak day on Wednesday. Always fantastic to take the best advantage you can of a full moon. New moon, rather. So sorry. New moon. And this one has been kind of roaring right up to the gate. Implement what you've learned today.
All right, so look it. Last week's elusive symbols became this week's Petals of Venus rosette.
Pity.
We hope that you find within that exquisite mandala a sense of renewed purpose and meaning. Whether your Venus is creator, adventurer, idealist, or a connoisseur, we hope that you find the kind of love and inspiration you need this week.
Every week has unique challenges. This one is going to be a call to action for those of us who are hoping to do better. This is not spam.
Right. If you get the call, it's not spam, okay? Just answer it.
Yes.
All right. Hey, thank you all for joining us. We get to do this all together. Please share, like, follow, hit the bell for notifications. Do it!
Follow the bell, share the like.
Yes.
Show us some love, guys. Talk to us. Let us know how your week is going. We want to know if you worked your magic. Give us some feedback. It's daily-astrocat.com by Stella. All over, all kinds of podcasts, social media, good stuff.
All right. So, hey, look, I'm always asking myself, why do I do this Daily Astrocat thing?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, did I ask myself that question today. I love writing, and I also love the inner wisdom that it allows me to tap into. It's my gift to all of you, and I hope you share this freely.
Stop right there, though. Venus has just reset, and you can't be this altruistic person out there just doing this out of the goodness of your heart. You said so.
Okay, well, I'm not. Listen, I'm actively asking you people out there for more likes, ratings, give us the big ratings, right, and share so we can expand our audience and make the monetization of this process a possibility. Everyone's help here is very vital. It's vital for our Venus goals, and it's vital for you to share the love of us so that way we can help you, help your friends, and help other people, okay?
Sorry. Mm-hmm. Get in on it early. We have lots of love for all of you.
That's right. So have a happy Astro week. Happy Astrocatting. Didn't work. Totally did not.
No, we're going to have to do this whole thing over again. We already did once, for crying out loud.